Welcome to the Extreme Dirt course. In this course, I'm gonna take you a journey and teach you everything you need to know about dirt, from the basics to more advanced concepts. If you are looking for a comprehensive, organized, and highly practical course that takes you from zero to hero and prepares you for the job, this is the right dirt course for you. I'm gonna give you plenty of exercises to help you build your confidence writing code programs. So you'll learn all the necessary techniques and apply them to your own programs. We are gonna build two code programs together, like number guessing and temperature converter. So by the end of this course, you will be able to use it like a pro as part of your software development workflow and can write any cool stuff. I hope you stick around and learn this powerful programming language. So we are gonna start off with Dart overview so you understand the Dart basics, and then we will use Dart to write code programs. Dart is an open source, structured and flexible programming language developed by Google. This programming language has arrived to make programmers' life easy, allowing them to develop more complex mobile applications, websites, games, artificial intelligence, and many more cool things. With better maintenance and improved performance, Dart is a class-based, object-oriented language with simple inheritance. It also supports interfaces, abstract classes, and optional typing. Don't worry about all of those terms. You will see everything in depth, step by step, and you will enjoy all of those advantages in a very simple way. Dart has a C-style syntax, thereby to all programming languages that inherit from it. So if you have previously worked with JavaScript, Java, PHP, Python, C or C++, you would be very happy because you now know Dart. Dart has many advantages. One of the main advantages is its high performance. Another advantage is its simplicity and clarity when you use it, and most importantly when you have to learn it. It has a great documents, tutorials and samples. Furthermore, asynchronous programming is one of the most powerful features of this language. We will dive into this in incoming section. Now that you know and understand more about using Dart and all the utilities it brings to you, it's time to roll up your sleeves and start working on it. First thing I want to do is open up your browser and head over dartpad.dev to test your code online. You may test your scripts by using this online editor, Dartpad. It executes the script and displays console output. To set up Dart on your local machine, visit dart.dev. Here we can see the latest version of Dart. On this page, click on Get Dart. Scroll down a little bit. Here you can see the option to download SDK as a zip file. You can download and install it. Below that we have another option. You can install using command line. If you are on Mac, follow these instructions. If you are on Linux, follow these instructions. And if you are on Windows, follow these instructions. If you have interested to develop mobile apps, websites and games and many more cool things using Flutter framework and Dart, you don't need to install Dart SDK separately. You can install the SDK from the Flutter tools. As I am developing mobile apps using Flutter and making tutorials on it, you may check out from my channel. I am gonna install Dart SDK from Flutter tools. If you are not interested, you can skip this section and you can follow instructions on Dart.dev site. Alright, go to Flutter.dev. Here you can see the latest version of Flutter. On this page, click on Get Started. Here you can select your operating system. As I am Windows user, I am selecting Windows. And if you scroll down, you can see the latest version of zip file as well. Let's go ahead and download. As I have downloaded, I am cancelling it. Next, we need to install a code editor. We use a code editor to write our code. So click on Setup an editor. Scroll down. And there's 4 different code editors. You can use Android Studio or VS Code or Emacs. I wanna use VS Code, that's lightweight and most popular code editor for writing any programming language. So I'm gonna open it on new tab. It will automatically detect your operating system and version. You can select your operating system by clicking on that icon. If you are on Mac, you can download from here. If you are on Linux, you can download from here. If you are on Windows, let's go ahead and download it. As I have downloaded, I am cancelling it. Now look at our downloads folder. Here we should have SDK zip file. Simply select the file and click on extract, extract all and select directory. We have to put the file on C drive. Here we create a new folder, source, and click on select folder and then extract. This is gonna take a few minutes, so I'm gonna pause the recording. Alright, we have successfully extracted the file. To check, let's go to C drive and then source folder. This is the extracted file. Open it and go to bin folder. Now copy the file path to set up our environment path. Now come up on search bar, type env and open it. You're gonna see the dialog. Click on environment variables and then path variable. Click on new and paste it here the copied file path. Simply click OK, OK, OK. So we have successfully installed Flutter and Dart SDK on our local machine. Now once again look at your downloads folder. Once again you should have VS Code, so double click on this. Accept the agreement and click next. Choose create a desktop icon and add to path and click next and install. This is gonna take few minutes. Alright, click on finish. It will launch your VS Code. So here's the main window of VS Code. Before using VS Code to write Dart code, we have to install Dart extension. Now here click on triple dot and then extensions. Now we are gonna search Flutter. And install the Flutter extension. If we install Flutter, Dart will be installed automatically. Flutter extension is installed and Dart is also installed. Beautiful. Now we are ready to write our Dart programs. I opened up main window of VS Code. The first thing we are gonna do is open a folder by clicking on that, or we can open folder from here. I'm gonna select desktop, hello world and then select folder. Let's come to the right to the hello world and create a new file called main.dart. By convention, all Dart files should have this Dart extension. Alright, Let's go ahead and collapse this panel by clicking here and close this. And we are gonna write our first Hello World program. It's a tradition in programming to introduce a new programmer to a language with a program that produces a message of Hello World. This should be the easiest task you ever do in programming. Simply type main all in lowercase, open and close parentheses. The empty parentheses mean that this function takes no arguments, and open and close curly brace. The opening curly brace indicates where the function starts. This line declares a function called main. We will learn about functions in later. Main function is always the entry point of a Dart program, the place where the program begins execution. Now type print all in lowercase, open and close parentheses, and add a quotations. Can either use single or double quotes. In between quotes write hello world. It's a statement. Each statement must be end with a semicolon. So this is our first Dart program. You can use terminal to run the program. To opening a terminal on Mac and Windows, press Ctrl and backtick character. Now down below you should see this little terminal window. Now go ahead and run the program by using the command dart main.dart and press enter. Now you should see the hello world printed in the terminal. It's not a very exciting program, but you have officially run your first bit of Dart code. If you are able to write your first Dart program, let me know in the comment section what was your first Dart program and why you are learning it. I would love to hear it from you. Comments are used to better explain how code works in plain English. In this section, we are gonna see the Dart comment system, inline, block, documentation or multi-line comments, and how to use them to properly document your program. Double slash is used for inline comment, and when we need to detail more information about our code, we can use block comments. These comments begin with slash asterisk and are closed with asterisk slash, and each line is produced by asterisk. That's block comment. And next, documentation comments. You can use them at the beginning of classes, methods or functions. However, you could also add them inside classes, functions or methods. The documentation comments are similar to block comments with a simple difference. They begin with slash double asterisk and are closed with asterisk slash, and each line produced by asterisk. That's documentation comments. And we use the triple slash to create multi-line or documentation block comments. They help to clarify some tricky parts of your code, especially if you have to return to them later to change anything. They also help to other team members or a programmer to understand your code. We will start this section with a very simple definition about what variables are. The variables are just memory places that we will use to store information. We store strings, numbers, result of functions, instance, etc. in computer's memory. To access them, you must use references, which are the variables. There are two ways to define variable in Dart. The first is with the word var followed by the variable name. I'm gonna call it age and its value 20. This code assigns the value of 20 to the variable age. And second is with the data type. Dart supports different types of data to define the many variables we use in our program. There are 6 special types in Dart that are fundamental to the language and can be described with literal. These are integers, floating point numbers, strings, booleans, lists, and maps. Let's see how we apply them in Dart program. To define the variable with data type, I'm gonna change it to integer. Integer hold whole number. I'm gonna add another data type, double. Floating points number defined with the double keyword. It holds numbers that require decimal points to describe them. To store text value, we are gonna use a string. String hold text. We can use either single or double quotes for string literal. Let's say John. Booleans are declared with the keyword bool. Booleans can only hold one of two values, true and false. Dart is case sensitive, that means it's sensitive to lowercase and uppercase letters. If we spell it with the uppercase F, Dart doesn't understand it. It indicates an error. Make sure to spell this with lowercase f. List data type represent data collection. Lists are defined with the list keyword. List hold any data type. I'm gonna define a list of grapefruits. List start with square brackets. Let's say them apple, banana, grape, 1, 3, 10. Similarly to list, Dart comes with built-in syntax for declaring map literal. It's map. Let's say variable name age. It starts with curly brace. Map literals utilize the syntax key value. Every key must be paired with a value. Key can be any data type. Let's say mat, and also value can be any data type. Let's say 27. This key must be unique. A map may not contain more than one of the same key. Let's change the key mat to Alex and print name age. And now open your terminal and run the program. You should see the only Alex and Shara's age. However, it can contain duplicate values. If we change 20 to 27 and Alex to John, and once again run the program, you should see the Alex, John and Shara's age. In Dart, every variable is reference to an object. As you know, Dart is an object-oriented language and everything in Dart is an object. This is integer object, this is double object, this is boolean object, this is string object, and this is list object, and lastly this is map object, key value pairs. If you never intend to change a variable, use final or const, either instead of var or in addition to a type. A final variable can be set only once. Here's an example. Notice that you can choose to use the data type annotation when you define the variables with final. And const variable is compile time constant. The number pi is a mathematical constant, so you can define it as const in our Dart program. Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I have done my best to create the possible Dart course on YouTube, and I really appreciate it if you support my hard work by liking the video and sharing it with others so they can learn as well. And be sure to subscribe my channel for more tutorial like complete Flutter course, Git, REST API or anything. Alright, now let's move on the next section. Let's go a little deeper into data type. Alright, I have defined 3 variables with 3 different data types. In first variable, if I assign string value, it shows an error because age is specified to be of type integer, so we cannot assign a string value here. We can assign here only whole number. What if we wanna assign here whole number with decimal points? It again shows an error. We also cannot assign floating points number to integer type, so we have to leave the decimal points. Now come to the next variable. In score variable, if we leave the decimal points, it shows no errors, although we have specified its type double. What's going on here? So when we specify the type of double, we can assign whole number with decimal points or without decimal points. Dart compiler will convert whole number to a floating points number. Let me show on the terminal. So first let's print score. And now let's run the program. So here 9.0. So you can assign whole number to double or floats data type. And also we cannot assign a non-string to name since the name is specified to be of type string. Now we are gonna assign new value to the age variable like this. That supports reassign a value to any data type. Now let's print out age on the terminal and let's see what happens. There you go. So now we have 50. And a good news that also supports reassign variable with the value of different data type. So let me change the value to string 50. We can reassign the 50 with the integer data type using dynamic keyword. Now let's run the program. Nicely we have 50. So you can use the keyword to reassign variable with the value of different data type. Operators are an essential part of any programming language. With them you can do arithmetic operations with numbers, assign values between variables, and make decisions in a particular moment so that your program will execute one or another block of instructions. In this section we are going to see the arithmetic operators. They have special name, addition operator, subtraction operator, multiplication operator, division operator, and so on. Let's see how we can use them in arithmetic operations. Now what I'm gonna do is I wanna define 3 variables with type annotations. Let's say integer something equal to, end the statement with semicolon. Let's call another variable integer other equal to and semicolon. And finally total for doing some operations. We can add them with addition operator. And also we can define total variables separately like this and get rid of this integer. Now I am gonna print total. And now let's run this program and see what we get. We get 4. So this is the addition operator. And also we have subtraction operator. Let's run the program one more time. And now we get 0. That supports 2 kinds of division. Here's one with the forward slash. This is integer division. Let's run the program and we get an integer value. But we also have another division, double division. Just get rid of the sign and change integer to double. Now let's run the program once again and we should see floating points number. We have multiplication operator which is asterisk sign, and I'm gonna change double to integers. And now let's run the program and we should see 4. And one last operator called modules which is percentage sign, and this returns the remainder of the division. So when we run this program we should get 0. So these are the arithmetic operations in Dart programming language. In this section we are gonna learn equality and relational operators with simple example. Alright, I'm gonna just add equal to operator which is double equal. Okay, so to execute total's result, now we need to change integer to boolean. As the somethings and others value are same, so the result is true. Let's test on the terminal and let's run the program. And we get true. We have another operator, not equal to. As I have defined equal, so the statement is false. Now let's run the program one more time. And now we get false. And also we have greater than or equal to operator, less than or equal to operator, less than operator, and last greater than operator. In this section we will talk about increment and decrement operators. Let's say we have an integers variable called x and we set it to 1. Now we wanna increment this by 1. So we have to write code like this: x equal x plus 1. This is the addition operations as we know. So here compiler will store the value to x and the result is 2. Let me test on the terminal. If we run the program we should get 2. So this is how we can increment a number. Let's check this guy that supports a way to write the same code by the shortened form. Let me show how it works. So x double plus, this is the increment operator. It will increment the value by 1. Now let's test on the terminal and we should get number 2. So beautiful, we get the same number. Now let's check this guy and uncheck this guy. We can also subtract by using the subtraction operator. Now the result is 0. Let's test on the terminal and now we get 0. Now we will apply the shortened form in this case. Now let's check this guy again and uncheck this. So here operator would be double subtraction operator. So this is the decrement operator. Let's run the program and we should get 0 again. Beautiful, we get the same number. In this section we will learn one new operator which is type test operator. First I'm gonna add print statement. Now I'm gonna test the others data type. So we have an operator which is. So write code like this: other is double. As its type integer, so the result is false. Let's open your terminal and run this program. So we get false. We have another operator is not. This operator will make this statement true. So the result is now true. Let's run the program once again and you should get true. And a very interesting thing is we can easily convert any type to another different type using operator called typecasting operator, which is S, that converts an object of one type to another type. Here's an example. Now I wanna define it as a number and grab this within parentheses. So the interesting thing is we have many methods to convert any type to another type. I'm selecting to double. Typecasting operator will convert integer to double. Then the other object gets stored with the double value. So the result is 2.0. Let's see the result on the terminal. Let's run the program. And there we go. We get an floating points number. In this section, we are gonna learn assignment operators. If we wanna store something's value to total, we have this operator, which is assignment operator. Here compiler will assign 3 to total. So the result is 3. Let's check on the terminal. There we go. We get 3. We have another operator called multiplication assignment operator, which is asterisk equal. Here compiler will multiply 3 and 2 and then it gets stored into total again. So the result is 6. Let's run the program and see what we get. Nice, we get 6. We have also integer division assignment operator. This returns an integer number 1. So let's run the program. And yeah, we have an integer number. We also have double division assignment operator. We just need to change these types integer to double. Now the result is 1.0. Let's run the program and check on terminal. Yeah, we get the same number. We have also addition assignment, subtraction assignment, module assignment, bitwise OR assignment, bitwise left shift assignment, bitwise right shift assignment, bitwise XOR assignment, and bitwise AND assignment operators. So these all are assignment operators in Dart program. In this section, we will see conditional operators. Let me show. Let's say exclamation mark or not operator, parentheses, something equal to other. This is an expression. Something's and others value are now equal for this equal to operator. And not operator makes the expression false. So the result is false. Let's test on the terminal and see the result. And yeah, we get the same result that we expected. Okay, so let me write another expression. Something greater than other. And this is logical OR operator. And another expression, something double equal other. In that case, if any expression true, then the result is true. This operator doesn't record that both expressions have to be true. So let's see the result on the terminal. There you go, we got true. We have also logical AND operator. This operator required that both expressions must be true. In that case, as the first expression false, so the result is false. Let's run the program and see what we get. So we get the result false. Now time to test your skill. I want to do a little exercise. So pause the video and spend 1 minute on this exercise. When you are done, come back, continue and see my solution. As in traditional mathematics, operators have an ordered precedence in Dart. You may remember the acronym BODMAS from your elementary school days as a way to describe the order in which mathematical operators should be processed. If two operators have same precedence, then they are simply evaluated from left to right. So this piece of code is executed first. This result is 10. So next 10 will be multiplied by 5. Now the result is 50. Let's test on the terminal. Let's run the program. There we go. We get 50. So this all about operator precedence. Strings are a way of representing text in your program. We have already seen strings throughout the variable and data type sections. Now we will learn a few more concepts that will be very useful in your programs. So let's start by defining a string variable or object whatever called greetings. And we said that welcome to Dart course. Let's define another variable string index. So in this index we wanna store only W. Alright, just write greetings, square bracket. Here we pass a letter, let's say 0. This will return the index of first occurrence of that string. This is second, this is third, this is fourth index and so on. So let's print the index and run this program. We should get W because the index of the first character in the string is W. As an example, if we pass here 1, let's see what we get. And we get E because the index of the second character in the string is E. So this way you can access a particular position in the string and get the character. Now I'm gonna show you string interpolation. So I have defined name variable and its value. My name is Smrity. And I have defined another variable named length. In this variable we wanna store the name and the name's length. We can write code like this. Double quotes, the length of the, and to insert the value of name object into our string, we have to use the $sign and then variable name, here name. So this is just a single variable and then is and name dot length. It's a expression. If we have an expression, we must use curly brace like this. So this is called string interpolation. Okay, so let's run the program and we should see the name and name's length. There we go. We get the name and length. Alright, now I want you to do a little exercise. Imagine we are a reporter. So we make a report for today's temperature. So pause the video and spend 1 minute on this exercise. When you are done, come back, continue and see my solution. Okay, so we need two variables. Let's define integer temperature. We set it to 75 and a string weather report. So we are gonna insert temperature value to weather report. So type double quotes, it is rainy, and to insert temperature variable in our string add $sign and then temperature decrease. Let's print the weather report. And now let's see the result on the terminal. Okay, so we get the today's temperature. When you work with strings, you probably need to fill them with a certain number of characters like zeros, hash, or asterisk. To get them in the perfect format, Dart brings to you pad left and pad right methods to accomplish this task. Let's see some example. So first I'm gonna define some variables or objects, whatever. Alright, now I'm gonna type print string number 1 dot pad left. Here width, basically its length. Let's say 5. Now its length would be 5. You can specify the character which will prepend the 14. You can indicate 0 or asterisk or hash. I'm gonna use hash. Now the result is default 14 and then the pad left method will prepend the hashed character on our screen with the given width. So let's test on the terminal. And we get the same character of the number. Now let me change 8 and asterisk. Now let's see the result on the terminal. There we go. We get the 8 characters number with default number and asterisk. Now I'm gonna apply the method on second object. So let's print string number 2 dot pad left. Let's say 6 and asterisk. Now pause the video and spend 1 minute on this. When you are done, come back, continue and see my solution. Alright, so the result is it has default 4 characters and we specified into its length 6. So extra 2 asterisks will be added on that string and then the default number. Now let's run the program. And we get the same number that we expected. Now I'm gonna apply pad right method. So type print string number 3 object dot pad right. In that case we also have to define the width. Let's say 10. Notice that it has 5 characters and extra 5 characters will be added. And let's specify the special character 0. Now the result is default number and the pad right method will append 0 character after the string with the given width. Now let's run the program and see the exact result on the terminal. And yeah, we get the same number. Often in programming, it's necessary to enable the machine to make a decision. So, in this section, we are going to learn the flow control statements. We will start this section by defining an object. Let's say string name equal empty string and semicolon. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a condition with this simple statement, if statement. If statement starts with if keyword, parentheses to make condition or expression. and curly brace to execute code. We can use another way to make this statement by clicking on that. When I program, I always use shortcuts because that increase my productivity. The if statement lets you choose whether a block of instructions is executed or not. Now I'm gonna make a condition. Name is empty. If this statement inside of its parentheses is true, statements with the curly brace will only be executed. Print name is empty. Now open your terminal and run this program. We get this text, name is empty. Now it's time to do a little exercise. Imagine we are making a weather report. There are three distinct possibilities like it's hot today, it's cold today, or it's mild today. Now make the flow to make a decision. We need a variable, let's say integer temperature. So first I'm gonna add if statement, and now just simply make a condition. Temperature greater than 75. So I have specified a condition, and also we have to specify its initialized value. Let's say 80 for now. If it's true, then we'll say it is hot today. Okay, so let's print it is hot today. And then semicolon. Let's open up your terminal and run the program. And we should get it is hot today. And now if we want to change the value of temperature 70 and run the program once again, we get empty result. Because the condition is now false, statements with the curly brace will only be executed if the condition of parenthesis is true. Okay, so when it's greater than or hot day, we want to print something else out. So after curly brace, let's add else keyword and then curly brace. Within the curly brace, let's print it's cold day. Alright. The else will always be executed when the value held by temperature greater than 70. It will not be executed when the temperature is above 75. Okay, so let's see on the terminal. Let's run the program once again. Okay, so we get it's cold day. Now I'm gonna change the temperature value once again, 55. Okay, so to define mild day, I'm gonna use else if statement. After if statement, inside parentheses, let's say temperature greater than 50. Okay, so when it's true, then we'll say it's mild today. Now let's run the program and we should get it's mild day. Now we'll see another way to make a decision, which is switch statement that allows one to make decisions between multiple alternatives, thus avoiding nested if else if statement. Let's see an example of it. It starts with switch keyword and then open and close parentheses and curly brace. It's like if statement but have some little difference. We will see later. Now I'm gonna define a variable. Let's say favorite animal. And we set it to cat. With the variable we will compare all cases of switch statement. Now just pass the variable inside parentheses. Now we can define some cases. I'm gonna define case number 1. Let's say dog. If the case match with above condition, then we will do something. Let's print bark. We need a break statement at the end of every case without default case. We should always include break statement to exit switch. So we have defined our first case. Now let's define next case. Let's copy that, and below that let's paste it. Now we can change the case cow, and inside print statement let's say mo. Below that just paste the copied code one more time, and next change the third case. Optionally, we can specify the default case which will be executed if none of the other options concede. It is good practice to always include a default clause. Now to demonstrate how the default case works, let's print your animal is a new species to me. In this particular case, it is not necessary to include break statement because there are no more cases after it. So here variable we are comparing is the one in parentheses immediately following the switch statement. The case match with the above condition, so meow will be execute. Let's see the result on the terminal. Let's run the program. And there we go, we get meow. Now if we change the value bird and once again run the program, as you can see the default case executed. If none of the cases concede, then default case will be executed. So this is all about switch statement. Now I want you to do a little exercise. Make a flow. If traffic light color red, print stop. If green, print go. If yellow, print be careful. So pause the video and spend 1 minute on this exercise. When you are done, come back, continue and see my solution. Okay, we have three values, red, green, yellow. Now we can set the values with const. Dart supports a way to define that, which is enumerate type. Let me show how to do this. Enumerate type starts with the enum keyword and variable name, let's say traffic color, and then curly brace. Inside curly brace we will define our three variables. Each value in an enum has an index getter to get the zero based position of the value. Alright, to compare with the cases, now we can define a variable like color, and we set its value traffic color dot red. Now we need a switch statement to make a decision. We write a switch statement by clicking on that. Now in parentheses just pass the color variable as a condition. Okay, so we can define our first case. Let's say traffic color dot red. After this case, I'm gonna add a print statement. Let's say stop. Now we are gonna define next case. So let's copy that and below that just paste it. Now we can set our second case traffic color dot green and print statement. Let's say go. Below that, let's paste copied code one more time and define third case yellow. And in print statement, let's say be careful. Now we're gonna define default case. Let's just print empty string. Now let's go ahead and run this program and let's see what we get. We get stop. Now let's just make it yellow and let's see what we get. Now we get be careful. Now in all the examples I have shown you so far, we deal with switch statement. To be master on that, make more programs by yourself. Now that we have reviewed conditional statements, it's time to see looping statements. A loop is used to repeat a given value or values a specified number of times. Dart has several different types of loops. In this section, we will learn very interesting topic, while loop. The while loop repeats a block of code while a condition remains true. In a future section, we are gonna build a simple game using while loop. So let's get started with the basics of while loop. The loop starts with the while keyword and then open and close parentheses to make a decision, and then curly brace. Inside of curly brace, a block of code will be executed. So here's an example. Let's say we have integer score variable and we set it to 1. Now in parentheses we can set a condition, score less than or equal to 10. As long as this condition is true, the score's result will be repeatedly executed. Now we can print score to demonstrate how it works. And now we need to increment the score by 1. Do you remember this operator? It is an operator that adds 1 in a number. This statement will evaluate the condition before entering the loop and will repeat it while the condition is true. And now if we don't add this piece of code, then score will be 1 forever. So we'll end up with infinite loop because this condition will always be true. 1 is always less than 10. So in every iteration of this loop, we increment score by 1. So at some point score is gonna be 11 and then this condition will be false and then we'll jump out of this loop. So now if we run this program, as you can see we get 1 to 10 numbers. So here how this program gets executed. A little more interesting thing here, we can write an expression like this. We have a string and in the string we add a asterisk and then we multiply this string by score. So with this expression we can repeat a string. Now let's run the program and see what we get. So we see this little descending triangle shape here. In every iteration incremented by 1. Now I wanna decrement by 1. So we have to write code like this. Now score's initial value is 10 and here operator let's say greater than. In first iteration score is 10 while the score's value greater than 0. Then the loop will be executed. So here we need change the operator, decrement operator. Here in every iteration we decrement it by 1. When the score gonna be -1, then we will jump out of this loop. Let's see the result on the terminal. Let's run the program. And we get a little ascending triangle shape. So these are all about while loop. Now we will see do while loop. Here's an example. Simply get rid of this code for now and just add do. Do while loop starts with do keyword. This is exactly the same as while loop, except that in a while loop the check is at the end of this loop instead of at the beginning. This doesn't make a difference for our program. The do while loop can be useful in situations where you always want the first iteration of the loop to execute regardless of whether the comparison evaluates to true or false. The do while loop first evaluates the body of loop. After that we check the condition, that is score is greater than 0 or not. So let's run the program and see what happens. So we get the same result that we got in while loop as the both loop does the same task. Dart has several different types of loops, but for now we focus on the for loop. This loop has a very familiar format to you because it inherits the syntax of JavaScript, C and so on. So let me show the format of for loop. Within the parentheses we have three statements. The first is initialization statement, which is an opportunity to create a variable and set its value. The second is test statements, which is a comparison that must hold for us to continue the loop. And the last is update statement, which is what we want to do at the end of each iteration of the loop. Alright, now we are going to create a variable score and we set it to 1. And then we can set a condition like score less than or equal 10. When this condition is true, then the value of score will be printed on the terminal. Let's print score. As you see here, score is 1 and 1 is always less than 10. So the condition is always true. This will give us an infinite loop. So to make the condition false, we need an update statement. Let's say score double plus. This is an increment operator, that is increment the value of score by 1. When the score will be 11, then the condition will be false. Then we will come out of this loop. So the result is 1 to 10. Let's see the result on the terminal. Let's run the program. And there we go. We get 1 to 10 numbers. So this is how a for loop gets executed. This is pretty much easy. Now let's compare among the while, do while and for loop. This is the program in which I used while loop, and in this program I used do while loop, and here I used for loop as you saw in previous section. As you can see in while loop, the first step is initialization step, and in do while loop and here also score variable is initialized the value 1. After initialization, the condition is checked, that is score variable is less than or equal to 10 or not in every loop. If the condition is true, then the next step is printing the value of score here and here also. After checking the condition, value of score will be printed on the terminal. Please remember here, after checking condition, we are not increment the value of score. As in the case of while loop, it has little bit difference. In that case, it first print the value of score and then it check the condition. So after checking the condition, we are gonna print the value of score if the condition is true. And after printing the score, we simply increment the value of score by 1. We did the same in do while loop and for loop. So these three loops are exactly same, and these doesn't make a difference for our program. So you can use any of them in your program. The for loop also allows us to iterate over list, map and set objects. Let's see an example of how we can use for loop with list. I have defined a list of number list and I assigned its value. Now we are gonna make a for loop. Okay, so first just create a variable with integer type. Let's say I, and we set it to 0. Now we can make a condition. Let's say I less than number list dot length. Here number list dot length basically 4 because the list has 4 elements. So the condition is I less than 4. When the condition is true, then we will do something. Let's print number list. Now we will now insert the whole list on our terminal. So if we print the number list and run this program, let's see what we get. Okay, so we get 4 list because the loop starts from 0. So this is for 0 index, and when the value of I is 5, then the loop gets stopped, and so this is for 4 index. If we print I, it will be clear to you. Okay, so now let's run the program and see what we get. And we get its 0 position and 4th, but we wanted only single list. So instead of print number list, we will define the index of list. So simply write square bracket and here we pass I as in short of index. Now if we run the program, let's see what we get. Okay, so look at this list, how it gets executed. Here first, the loop executed for list and as we specified its index only, then it takes only first element of each list. But for increment operator, in the second list, 1 incremented by 1, so this will be now 2. And the 2 incremented by 1, so this will be now 3. And same for next index. So this is how a for loop executes with list. Now we'll see how we can apply for each loop with list. The loop is a perfect choice if you don't know the current iteration count. So here's an example. I have defined a list of number list. Now we are going to add for each loop with the list. So simply write number list dot for each method. In that method we specify an element of the list and in the curly brace or body of the loop we will execute all the elements of the list. So within the parentheses let's say item and now we will print the item. Now let's run the program and see what we get. There we go. We get the same result that we got in the for loop. Now we are gonna learn the last loop, which is for in loop. First, let's see the syntax of for in loop. To iterate over a collection or any iterable without knowing the iteration count, you can use this for in loop. Here I specified a list of documents. First, we are gonna make a for in loop. So simply write for keyword and open and close parentheses. Right after that curly brace. Now within the parentheses we can create a variable like string, let's say doc as in short of document, and then in as you saw the syntax of for in loop. Right after that our list object, that is documents. Now just print the doc. Alright, now let's run the program and see what we get. We get each element of the list. So this is how for in loop gets executed. That's all for now. To summarization, variables are used to refer to information for later use. Strings are how we represent text. Operators provide us the basic built-in functionality of the language. Control statements allow us to use the computer for decision making or branching. Loops are a convenient way to do repetitive tasks. You learned some programming fundamentals that should have given you a basic understanding of a few of the concepts we will require to write programs. In this section, we will demonstrate those fundamentals in action. I am thinking a number. Can you guess what is it? Oh, it's too low. Try again. Oh, it's too high. Please try again one more time. Yes, it's 10. You got it. Is this amazing? So, in this section, we are going to build this cool program using do while loop and if else statements. So, let's go ahead and see how it works. So, we need two variables for guessing number and answer. And now we need a do-while loop to repeatedly ask a user to make a guess. Alright, as you know, the do-while loop first evaluate the body of loop. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna just add print statement inside of body. Let's say enter your guess. Without checking the condition, the loop will print the text on the terminal. And now we wanna read in number from the keyboard. To do so, I'm gonna define a variable to store the read in number. So we call number and simply type std, and here you can see auto import dart.io package. So let's click on that. This will auto import a package which is dart.io. To be clear, the stdin is a built-in object of the dart.io package used for reading input from standard input and then call readline sync function. This will pause the program until the user press the enter key. Whatever was entered before the enter key was pressed will be stored in the string named number and then exclamation mark for null safety. So this is our way to getting user input for our command line Dart programs. Whatever the user enters come out as a string. We need an integer so that we can compare guess to answer. So we can call integer.parse function. This will convert a string into an integer. Within the brace we pass number. Alright, the result will be stored in the integer named guess. Now what is our condition here? Well, we wanna give our user guesses until they guess the right answer. Before defining a condition, let's set initial value of answer. Let's say 10. And now we can define a condition like this: guess not equal answer. Here if guessing number and answer are not equal, then the loop will repeatedly execute enter your guess and read a number from keyboard. So now run this program and see what happened. It's asking to enter a number. If I enter 2, it again asking for number. If I enter 3, it again asking for number. Now if I enter the right answer, that is 10, the loop terminates immediately. But before the loop gets terminates, I wanna tell a message to player. So to do so, below that just add print statement and let's say you got it. And now if we run this program one more time, it asking to enter a number. If I enter the right answer, that is 10. Now it tells us you got it. To help them players to guess number easily, I wanna tell them two messages, which are it's too low or it's too high. So to define that, we need if else statements. So inside of body we can define if else statement by clicking on that. Now within parentheses we can set a condition, guess less than answer. Here if guessing number less than 10, then we will be print it's too low. Else we will define another condition. So right after else, let's just add one more if statement and get rid of this curly brace, and within parentheses we can pass another condition, guess greater than answer. Then we'll say something it's too high. So here if the guessing number greater than 10, then it's too high will be printed on the terminal. And when the guessing number and answer are not equal, then we'll jump out of this loop and it will print you got it on the terminal. Now let's run the program one more time. It's asking to enter a number. If I enter 6, it tells us it's too low. And if I enter 20, it says it's too high. And if I enter 100, it says too high. And if I enter 00, it says it's too low. And last, if I enter the right answer, it tells us you got it. And the loop terminates immediately. So this is how we can build a fantastic number guessing game. In this section, we are going to build one more cool program, which is temperature converter. In this program, you can convert Celsius to Fahrenheit and vice versa. So let's see how this works. When you run this program, it's asking for select any option. If I select A, either lowercase or uppercase, we get this another text here. It's asking for enter a number. If I enter 55, we get the converted temperature in Fahrenheit. Now if I again run this program, it's asking to select an option. Now I'm gonna select B, and now it's again asking for number that will convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. If I again enter 55, we get the converted temperature in Celsius. So this is our program. So I'm just going to jump on that right now. Okay, so first we are going to print a simple text. So just add print statement and let's say option A, convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. And backslash, and it's called new line character to create a new line. And option B to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. Now if we run this program, we should get 2 lines printed on the terminal. There you go, we get 2 lines of text. Now we need do while loop to repeatedly ask a user to select an option. Now I wanna take input from user's keyboard. What I'm gonna use for that is I'm gonna call stdin.readline_sync function that gathers input from the user's keyboard until the user hits the enter key. For null safety, we need to put exclamation mark. Now I'm gonna define a string variable, let's say selection, to store the input values. This comes from .io package. Whatever the user typed as a string, before we let the variable selection point to the string, we transform it so that it is uppercase. So right after that, just call to uppercase method. The reason for this to ensure that if the user enters lowercase a, it is equivalent to the user entering uppercase a. We don't want case to matter. The call to uppercase method achieves this case conversion. Alright, now we need to set a condition. Let's say selection. The selection variable cannot be accessed in the parentheses because this variable is a local variable. Local variables have a scope that is limited to the block of code within which they are defined. This means they can only be accessed from within that block. So instead of defining here, let's define it outside of block. Now the condition is selection not equal literal A and logical AND operator, and selection not equal literal B. The logical AND operator returns true if both expressions true. If an expression false, then it returns false. Okay, so now we are taking the first expression. The variable selection is not equal to the literal A. If it is equal to the literal A, then the expression evaluates to false and we exit the loop. And in next expression, we said selection is not equal to the literal B. If it is equal to the literal B, then the expression evaluates to false and then we exit the loop. Otherwise, we evaluate the entire expression is true and go back to the beginnings of the loop. Are you thoroughly confused by this loop yet? Hopefully not, but if you are, take a look at this. If a user enter lowercase f, then first it will transform to uppercase f and then it will check first expression as selection not equal A but not F. So the expression is definitely true. And then it will check next expression. Here selection not equal B, so the expression also true. As the both expression true, so the condition is true, and then the loop will keep executing. If the user enter lowercase a, it will first transform to uppercase if, and then it will check first expression. As we set selection not equal a and we entered a, so the expression is definitely false. It will not check the next expression as the first expression false, so the condition is false and we exit the loop. And if the user enter uppercase B, then no need to transform here. After that it will check the first expression, selection not equal A but not B, so the expression is true, and then it will check next expression. As I entered B in expression selection not equal B, so the expression is definitely false. As one expression false, so the condition is false and we exit the loop. So if we run this program, it's asking to enter A or B. If I enter X, it's again asking to enter because the condition is now true. If I enter A, the loops terminate immediately because now the condition is false. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print something. Let's say enter your starting temperature. So when the condition false, we will jump out of the loop and it will print enter your starting temperature on the terminal. Let's see that on the terminal. If I enter A, now it says enter your starting temperature. And now we wanna again take input from user to convert that value Celsius to Fahrenheit and vice versa. So simply type string in temperature equal stdin dot redline sync. Now we will convert this string into an integer using integer.parse method. Write code like this. Now we need switch statement to decide which of the two formulas to run. Just add that. Now within parentheses we need to add the selection variable. And now we need only two cases for A and B. So let's define case number 1. If the case matches with condition, then we will do something. Let's print $sign to insert temperature variable and decrease Celsius is, and again $sign and open and close parentheses. In that we are gonna apply first formula to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. So here we multiply the temperature with 1.8 and add 32 to it. So this is the formula to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. And then degrees Fahrenheit. And now we can define case number B. Let's copy that and below that just paste it and change A to B, and also in print statement Fahrenheit, and get rid of this. Just add parentheses. Here let's add second formula, temperature subtraction 32, and divide the entire thing by 1.8. This is the formula to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, and change Celsius. Now let's run the program and see what happened. Okay, so it's asking to enter A or B. I'm gonna enter A. And now it's asking to enter a temperature. I'm gonna enter 55. There you go. We get the converted temperature in Fahrenheit. And the loop terminated immediately. And run this program one more time. Now I'm gonna select B and starting temperature 55. There you go. We get converted temperature in Celsius. So this is how we can build this fantastic program. Temperature converter may be the first program that you have written that does something legitimately useful. Unfortunately, with the command line interface such as it has, it is unkindly that you would ever use it on a regular basis, especially since Google can do temperature conversion for you. On the other hand, perhaps it got you thinking about how we can solve real-world programs in our personal or professional life with the tools of programming. I will end up this section by showing you some keywords in Dart. Thanks for watching. Second and final part coming soon, and don't forget to share with others. Have a fantastic day.